Yo, what's going on guys? CultofMush back at it with another video. We got the system requirements for Far Cry Primal. Yes, this isn't a game that a lot of people are very excited for. The Far Cry games have kind of gotten a bit stale, but Far Cry Primal is trying to reinvent the games a little bit. The game is set in the Stone Age. It takes out all the traditional Far Cry gunplay in favor of what would be found in that time, with melee weapons like axes, and then you have ranged weapons like bows as well. So the game is trying to diversify the Far Cry formula quite a bit, and we got the system requirements for the game. The PC version of Far Cry Primal actually comes out a week later after the console versions. The PC version releases on March 1st. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get right into this with the minimum CPU requirement. So for minimum CPU requirement, you're looking at an Intel Core i3-5550 or an AMD Phenom II X4 955, very old CPUs. At this point, if you have a gaming PC that was built in the last 3 years, you probably have something well above this. And even if you have an older pre-built desktop, you probably have something equivalent to the i3-5550 or the Phenom II X4 955. For recommended CPU, they do take it up a bit, the Intel Core i7-2600K or the AMD FX-8350. The i7-2600K is a few generations older. That was the Sandy Bridge i7. Very good CPU. A lot of you guys probably are still running that CPU because since Sandy Bridge, we really haven't seen that much improvement. But yeah, if you probably have something like an i5-3570K that's overclocked, an i5-4690K, and obviously if you have a newer Skylake i5 and you overclock it a bit, chances are you'll be just fine with Far Cry Primal. And as far as the recommended AMD CPU goes, the FX-8350 is a CPU that a lot of people still pick up. But it does seem like the FX-6300 is also going to be able to do a decent job with this game, so that's cool to see. For minimum RAM requirement, you're looking at 4GB of RAM, and then recommended is 8GB of RAM. Nothing surprising there. 4GB of RAM and 8GB of RAM for minimum, and recommended has been the norm for a while now. If not 4GB minimum, it'll be like 6GB. So seeing 4GB and 8GB here is no surprise at all. Moving on to what you guys care about, the video card. Minimum video card requirement for this game is actually fairly low. You're looking at an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 460, that's a 1GB video card, very old video card, or an AMD Radeon HD 5770 1GB video card. So if you guys have a video card like the GTX 750 Ti or the R7 260X even, you'll be able to get decent performance out of Far Cry Primal. You won't be able to max out the game, but the fact that this game can run on a GTX 460, a 1GB model no less, and a 5770, that speaks pretty well for those of you that have lower end video cards and want to play this game. For recommended video card, once again, they do up it by quite a bit. You're looking at an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 or an AMD R9 280X. Now, to most people, a lot of you guys might think that the R9 280X is a lot below the GTX 780. I would say that the GTX 780 is a better card than the R9 280X, but the R9 280X isn't as far behind as some of you guys might think. Regardless, that means you're going to need a pretty good GPU if you want to run this game at optimal settings. I would say if you guys have something like a GTX 970 or an R9 290 or a 390, you guys should be just fine with maxing this game out at 1080p, and then you probably can play this game at 1440p as well with decent settings. And then for those of you with mid-level video cards like a GTX 960 or an R9 280 non-X edition, you guys should be pretty good running this game at medium to high settings and getting 60 frames per second. Obviously, everything I'm saying does have its variables to it. This is a Ubisoft game and they are notorious for putting out bad PC ports, so let's just hope that isn't the case with Far Cry Primal. Far Cry is a series that's been okay on PC. Far Cry 4 did have its fair share of problems, but at this point, I think Ubisoft understands what happens when you shit on PC gamers. They don't want to make the same mistake that they did with Assassin's Creed Unity, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate was a pretty decent port, so I expect Far Cry Primal to be pretty good as well. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Let me know if you guys are excited at all about this game. Far Cry Primal is a game that's gone completely under the radar. I feel like a lot of you guys are excited for a game like The Division, or some of the other games that are coming out in the next few months. Far Cry Primal has just really gotten buried. Nobody's really talking about it, but it is a Far Cry game and a lot of people do really enjoy the game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.